If you are the black sheep of the family, then I can also assume that you are or have been the scapegoat of that family. And our experiences will most likely be the same. It will not be any different from yours. And you could have also experienced that there has been or there is a lot of toxic behavior in those units. Now, I left the family unit, dysfunctional family system, plus 2 years, two plus years ago. And I've never looked back. It is not a coincidence that the very moment I took that decision, my life started to change. But I can still remember all these events just like yesterday. So the time when I was leaving, before actually, a little bit, couple of weeks before I left the system, I started to notice dysfunctional behavior within the system. I was a little bit doubting myself. I was like, maybe I'm overthinking stuff. Maybe I'm not paying attention to the detail, or I thought it was me. So I was a bit skeptical in that time. But finally, due to the fact that I had also gone through an awakening, I was able to figure out what had always been happening behind the scenes or behind the veil. So those days I had started also doing some videos, sharing some videos about narcissism here and there. I had a couple of videos as well at that time. And I remember a particular comment from a sibling. You're focused on your videos, you know. You're too focused on your videos. You don't give us a call. You're not checking on us. And then I was thinking in my mind that, why is it supposed to be my responsibility to check on people? So I'm supposed to check on people. They cannot check on me, but I'm supposed to check on them. So I was thinking that there's something wrong, you know? Not only that, this particular sibling had been trying to do something, make a very big move in their life, move to a new location somewhere. And then I remember another comment as well from this sibling. They said that the reason why they were not able to move to that location because things had failed for some reason, so it was my fault. So now I'm sitting there and I'm thinking that how is it supposed to be my fault that someone's efforts to move somewhere to a new location have failed? So now I'm taking the blame for their failure. So somehow I figured out that it cannot be me. It cannot be my fault that things haven't worked out for them, okay? And then, of course, I started getting these other comments here and there, you know, it's about you, you know, it's you, you're on the videos, you're not focusing on the family, and a lot of bullcrap started happening. This thing was around, let's check, could have been like 2 or 3 weeks. One event after the other one. Then I was like, there has to be something wrong, you know. I cannot be responsible for somebody's failure. I cannot be the one responsible for checking up on people. You know, they cannot check up on you, but you have to check up on them. So I was obliged to check out on certain people. And on top of that, they were like, now you're doing videos, you don't care about anything, you know, you're out there and all this. And I was like, yes, I'm doing videos, but I think the thing that I would expect from a family member was support. We see what you're doing. We encourage you, keep on going. We support you and whatever, you know, this kind of stuff. Even sometimes some simple things as emotional support. It doesn't always have to be financial support. So in those days, I was like, I'm going to distance myself from these people. I need to figure out what is going on. There is something I'd not yet figured out properly. So I wanted to get out and see this thing from a bird's eye view and see where the problem was, because I couldn't see this because there was a lot of this chaos going on around between the siblings. So I stepped out, and eventually everything came to me that, okay, so now I understand. Most of these individuals, they were either narcissistic or they were actually the narcissists themselves. Now, of course, like I told you guys before in my video, there was this, first of all, there was the mobbing, of course, and then there was the smear campaign. That's when the smear campaign happened. The entire group in the unit ganged up on one individual for the very first time in my entire life. That's when I experienced the entire group. I would later on learn about this because, of course, I had a communication with the sibling. And they was like, oh, we had a very big discussion. Actually, we talked about a lot of things. They did not really tell me what they talked about, but I would figure out that the whole meeting was about me as a person. As a scapegoat, you realize that family members, they do not have your back, okay? Whatever it is you're doing, these individuals, they have always been on your case from the beginning. Being a scapegoat in the family is painful because you have to deal with a lot of crap that is not even yours. You have to deal with people trying to find a way of offloading their shortcomings or their emotions and whatever is going on around them. They need somewhere to offload this garbage. Because you see, when you have a dumpster, what do they call it? When you have somewhere that you can dump your garbage, when they have somewhere that they can always dump their garbage, it will make them feel better about themselves. So they may not have to really look at themselves like they're the problem. So that's what they really call the scapegoat. You are like a trash can for all family members. And you will usually see as a scapegoat that there is a lot of energy that is coming from various family members, and of course including the narcissistic parent at the top. These kind of families, because you are highly empathic and you have got this energy around you, which most of the times many of them do not have, okay? I remember being blamed, for example. Why are you so nice, Don't take in this one, don't take in that one, do this and do that. So I used to get a lot of, whenever I thought that I was doing something nice, which is, I thought was the normal way to go or the normal thing to do, I would get a lot of these compliments. What do they call it? This energy of, you're so nice and you're so good to everyone, you need to be this and you need to be that. And I was like, why am I supposed to be something that I'm not? I wouldn't feel that kind of energy because that's not who I am. But they wanted me to be that way. So you see, family members in narcissistic family units, usually when they come very close to you, I could say, if you're talking to them one-on-one, let me say, for example, you talk one-on-one with the narcissistic parent, they may sometimes pretend to be on your side, Although sometimes you may see actually that they're not on your side, but usually they may try to hide it a little bit because you see, if you're dealing with a covert narcissist, for example, they may sometimes make you believe that they're on your side. Oh, you know what? Okay, so we shall do that or we shall do this. But you will really understand that these people, behind the scenes, they actually hate whatever it is you want to do or whatever decision you decide to take for your life. You will also see this thing in family members where they are usually going to be very, very envious of you, This whole thing comes down to energy. You see, a lot of family members have been groomed by the narcissist at the top. So this thing is like, it has usually happened subconsciously. Many of them are not even aware of it. But sometimes it can even be conscious, where a lot of them are going to be groomed to aid or to support the narcissist. The only person that is not be, the only person that will never be groomed will always be that scapegoat. They're the only people who don't fall for those traps and everything. So they're the only people who will always stand out. No matter what happens in their lives, they will always stand out and do what has to be done, regardless of the consequences, regardless of who is going to say what or who is going to stop them. So people, they admire your energy secretly behind closed doors. They admire your courage, you know, they admire your swag, they admire your moves and everything you decide to do. But at the same time, they will never come around to give you credit. That, oh, you know what, that thing what you did last time was a very nice move. We support you, you know, we like what you did, you know. I used to get out of these problems back in the days when I used to tell family members that, hey, listen, guys, actually, you know, I've been doing these videos on narcissism, and everybody will go quiet. Whenever I would talk about that, or maybe you guys can come around, you know, you can support, or you can put a comment or whatever, you know those early days when I was starting this journey. Every member in the family, they went quiet. Nobody was commenting something, nobody was saying anything. But at the same time, they would come around behind the scenes and they would stalk my channels, you know. I caught a couple of them stalking on TikTok, you know. Back in the days, there was also Instagram. And I think on the Facebook as well, earlier on. So they would keep on coming around to stalk. But they never had the courage to sit down face to face with you or with me in that time to tell me that, you know, what you're doing is nice, you know. Because sometimes, you know, when you are talking about something, a person can get that subconscious feeling that this person is talking about me. You know, they know that energy. So sometimes they can resonate with that energy. And they feel that sometimes the things you're doing, you're aiming at them. They can feel this. So they will stalk you, but they will not make their presence be known. That, okay, I heard what you said, or I saw what you talked about. You know, there's a time I told the family member, for example, that, you know, I did a video. That time I was helping the family member. I told her, you know, I did a video about this situation that you're going through, this and this. So we're talking about narcissism in that time. So the family member was like, yeah, I've seen that video, but also I've seen another video from someone else, you know. So now the family member started giving me some other names of content creators. Then I was like, actually, these content creators are talking about the same thing that I'm talking about. So why do you believe that the other ones, whatever they're saying, is more different from what I was doing at that time? So you see, they will never give you credit. So for me, I think, and as a black sheep of the family as well, one of the things that will motivate you to usually stand on your own and leave these dysfunctional systems will be the fact that you realize that these individuals, they do not have your best interests at heart. They don't have anything to do with you. Anything they want to hear, they want it to come from someone else. You know, it has to be another creator, it has to be another producer, it has to be another shop or another whatever. Anything they desire to have in their life, information or sometimes material products or whatever, they are very comfortable getting it from somewhere else. I can assure you, if you're black sheep of the family, you have got your own shop. Sometimes even a very successful one. And you're most likely the only one who is in that business or whatever, and you're selling your own stuff. Your family members will not appear to buy even something from you. They will not visit you. They may visit you to see what it is doing and take some pictures around and, you know, spy or whatever. They will not buy your products. If you want to know what I'm talking about, on this channel, even at this growth that we have reached, I do not have a family member that comments on my videos. I do not have a family member who has ever come out and probably said, you know, we see what you're doing on YouTube, you know, we're here to support you, we're behind you, keep on going, we'll be here. You know, I've never had that kind of support from family members. For you to understand how dysfunctional family systems operate. This thing of family is like an illusion. If you're dealing with a dysfunctional family, I can promise you, you're dealing with an illusion. It is only in your mind that this is family and, you know, these are brothers, whatever, or my sister, whatever. Yes, it's true that, you know, blood, you are born together, whatever, you grew up together and everything. But on a very spiritual level, I can promise you, you're on your own. anything you do as a scapegoat, as a black sheep of the family, you are going to meet completely different people along the journey. Those are the people that are going to stand with you. They are always going to follow you. They will support you. They'll encourage you, you know. But family members, when you're moving, they're not going to be seen. They're going to disappear into thin air. They're not going to be heard. But when you win and finally get to where you're going to see them. They want to come and sit down at the table. Oh, you know, our sister is getting married. Or back in the days, they used to be the ones telling you that, oh, you know what, don't bother with that boyfriend. Don't bother with that girlfriend. They didn't want you to get into relationships. They never wanted you to start a business. They never wanted you to finish school. Many of them are even making a problem for you when you was in school. They wanted you to drop out. But you have eventually graduated, and they're the very first ones on the ceremony. They're sitting at the front. Oh, that's our sister, you know, we are very proud of her and everything. So they always want to get this, what do they call it? They always want to get credit for your victory and success. But actually behind the scenes, when you look very closely, those people that have been the very first ones to fight you when you was putting in the work and doing the hustle. They used to fight you, you know. But once you win and you get to where you always wanted to be, they are going to come around. They want to sit on the table with you and celebrate. So when you're talking about these kind of families, dysfunctional family systems, you just have to understand as a scapegoat that there will be moments when you're going to decide, you know. It is going to be one of the most difficult decisions you will ever take in your entire life. I don't know anything that equates to leaving a toxic family system behind. Ladies and gentlemen, that weight is insane. You know, you will feel that weight, you will feel that energy in your chest. But the more you heal and educate yourself and understand what has been going on around you, that is when you come to terms with it, you accept it and understand it for what it is. Because I can promise you, for example, that for these 2 years that I've left the unit back in the days, I've continued to grow without their support. Even sometimes I remember back in the days when I was starting this channel, I wouldn't get the growth that I experienced after leaving the unit. I was usually stagnant, you know, in that energy. Maybe somebody will think like this, the father will think like this, the mother will think like this. You're always worried about who will say what or who will think what. But when I removed that energy out of the way, and I was like, okay, now I'm going to do it alone. Now I understand they don't have your best interests. You go out there and put in the work, you do it alone, you find all the resources by yourself. And I can guarantee you there's something with the black sheep that always, somewhere, somehow, God is going to put people along your journey. Because initially God knows that these people, they're not for you, you know. They have never been for you. Yes, you are born with them, you resonate too much with them, but they have never had anything for you. They have never had any good intentions for you. So sometimes God keeps on placing people here and there along your journey so that those people now can come and lift you up. You know, whenever you feel like things are failing, somebody comes around and picks you up. You feel like you cannot get on to the next move, somebody comes around and picks you up. So that's what happens with the life of a black sheep. Is why sometimes you see a lot of these black sheep at the end of the day, after whatever they have gone through in their lives, they always still make it out to the top. Despite all the jealousy, the envy, the abuse and everything, they always come out and get themselves back together and they put their shit together. And that is a lot of the things that many family members in your system cannot do. You know, so this jealousy comes from the spirit that you have as a person, okay? You have got this spirit that many of them do not have. You have got this energy that they do not have. You have got this empathy. They know that you're a very beautiful person. But you see, they never wanted you to realize your greatness. So a lot of these punishments and the things they used to do back in the days, they were hiding you from your greatness because they didn't want you to know who you were. They knew who you were, even on a spiritual level. Whether it was physical or spiritual level, they knew who you were. But they never wanted you to realize that you were a very beautiful person. So they wanted you actually to model you in a way that you'd end up actually doing things like them or looking like them. you know. So now you can be at their own frequency, because when they are on your frequency, when you guys are at the same frequency with them, they don't have to worry about anything. So that's the reason why you see many black sheeps, whenever there was a lot of things going on, discussions in the family units, you had a point to make sometimes, very serious points, even sometimes points that would help everyone. It did not matter what you had to say, and most of the times it was the correct thing. They never wanted you to speak. So they always never wanted you as a black sheep to shine. Because when you shine too bright, and usually you outshine everyone. And now they don't know what to do with themselves, you know, because they're like, okay, so why is this person shining too bright than me? Now they're starting to compare themselves to you. Why are they like this? Why are they like that? And themselves, they're actually different. Because you see, this whole thing is dysfunctional, you know. The whole behavior in those families has got very deep roots, and it has affected everyone. So most of them now, they have already lost themselves a long time ago. The black sheep is the only one who will always get things together. Yes, they will go through a lot of pain and everything, struggling here and there, putting things together, you know, hustling on their own. But usually at the end of the day, the black sheep, they are the pure lights of that family. And many of those people, they know it. It's just because they do not want to give you the credit. But you can best believe in this video that many of them, they have always been, and they will always be very jealous and envious of you behind the scenes, no matter what you do. So let me know what you think about this video in the comment section below. You guys know that I do love and appreciate your support. Book a session, donate or support my channel if you want to. Everything you need, you will find it in the description below. And until then, I'll catch you guys in my next one. There's almost signing out. Much love and blessings.